Hello and welcome back to ELT Under the Covers, where we as English language teaching professionals, we look at teaching clips on the video and we give you our thoughts of if they are good or bad. And today we are going to be looking at one of the OG tuba teachers from back in the day.
Oh, yes.
One of the
Yes,
very
yes, yes.
first people to be teaching English over YouTube. And we're
But
kind of going to
yeah,
go
I don't know.
look
I
back
don't
and
know
look
if
forward.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but certainly he was the first big one. He was the big boy.
Yeah, he's the one that kind of ushered in maybe the first wave to steal from Google.
Damn, boy, he's thick. Yeah, yeah, the first wave. The
But
first
first,
wave.
introductions. I'm Neil of Team Teacher Fame, and I am joined today again. I don't know, it keeps coming back by Professor Rich.
When am I going to get paid? Hey, everybody, go to youtube.com/Professor Rich for the best English teaching on YouTube. That's a guarantee.
It's true. It's true. And if
I don't
you
know if it is true.
subscribe to this channel
I
as
need to
well,
look at more.
you'll get an easy access route through to Professor Rich. So please do. And like, share, and subscribe. Just do. Just do. But let's delve back in. So can you give us a bit of history about this teacher?
So yeah, so we're going to be having a fella who he used to be called Mr. Duncan, and he used to write the full word Mr. M-I-S-T-R, Mr. Duncan. And back in the day when I started my English channel, which I believe I started it in 2009, he had started his in 2008, and he was the big boy. He was literally the biggest English learning channel on YouTube. And back then, I think that meant that he had like 200,000 subscribers or something, like that was like the biggest English learning channel on YouTube. If you searched for like anything about English learning, you always got a load of his videos. So he was sort of the English with Lucy of the day. But we can look at this now and we can see we're gonna watch two videos. We're gonna watch one which is his first ever video, and that one has 12 million views, and it's called Learning English Lesson 1 Introduction. And then we're gonna watch one of his recent videos which has 10,000 views, and this is a lesson about law and order, crime and punishment words. Okay, so we're gonna watch those two. And kind of talk about a lot of things, really. I suppose one, is it actually good teaching at all? And two, what's happened to this guy's channel? Why is it that now he's kind of trotting along, whereas, in the past, 12.5 million views in a video, that's good for anyone, even today.
That's blazing.
Yeah, that's top notch, isn't it? And that video was made in 2008, so a long time ago. So he has changed the name of his channel now. Now it's called English Addict, and I guess we'll just jump in and watch the first video, which is Learning English Lesson 1 Introduction.
Okay, let's do it. Okay.
Aha. All right.
So this is the very first. It's the OG.
Let's go.
Here we go. Classic.
Now, it was made in 2008, but why does it feel like it was made in the 80s?
Yeah, it feels like, what's his name? Troy McClure's about to walk in. Hi, you might remember me from Learning Klingon.
Right, or some like super old personal development video.
Yeah,
like
or a weird cameo by
Tony
John
Robbins.
Yeah,
Tony Robbins VHS or something. So he actually spells it one word as well, but I can't really criticize that, can I? Because Professor Rich, and I don't even spell it. I spell it in the English way. This is an interesting thing, actually, because I have actually had it on my mind to change the name of my channel.
Yeah.
To something else, maybe Prof Rich or Prof Rich English or something like that.
Yeah.
Because of that issue with the spelling. But yeah, that's what he did as well.
Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. Welcome to the very first episode of my series of English teaching videos. Before I begin, we will take a look at some of the common questions that often arise when talking about learning the English language, and more importantly, learning it as a second language. So, the first question must be, why do we need to learn English? Of course,
Wah!
one of the reasons why we need to be able to speak English nowadays is because the world is becoming smaller. Thanks to the internet and our developing global economy, more and more people are using English as a common way to
Pretty
communicate with each other.
prophetic, yeah.
So now it has become unavoidable that
Definitely
companies
unavoidable.
and large businesses will need to employ people who
Yeah. So, okay. This is obviously like an introduction to his channel, isn't it? He's going to kind of go on and explain what is the purpose of his channel. Now, it's really cheesy, but it's kind of professional as well, isn't it? Like, I mean, he's got a Windsor knot there on with his tie. Full shirt, jacket, and a Windsor knot on the tie.
Yeah.
And he's kind of doing a bit of a BBC style accent with a kind of an international twang there at the end. Strange that he says he's coming from Manchester because it doesn't sound anything like that, does it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, and obviously it's. I don't want to go too much into that. Oh, it's synthetic language because he is doing the presenter here, and this is probably the same way that someone doing a kind of Tony Robbins self-help style video might actually talk like that, right? But again, I guess I'd go back to the idea that language teachers need to represent more kind of day-to-day conversation at any opportunity.
What it reminds me of is like those old training videos that you used to have before you start work at
Really like
Morrison's
that.
or something like that, or
Yeah.
or these on in the UK, for people watching that you don't know, there used to be late at night these kind of like learning programs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this reminds me of. So it's kind
It
of
does.
like he's trying to replicate that on YouTube.
I wonder if he used to do that. Maybe he had a job where he
transitions and
was.
sound and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like it feels very kind of 70s almost.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about this guy is at some point he obviously did a bit of English teaching, but I feel like before that he did something else because he obviously had a lot of gear that people didn't have back then. And although the camera quality actually looks awful, you'll see later. Well, I remember watching his videos later on. And he had all kinds of kits. He's got he's in a studio. He's got lighting and all kinds of stuff. So the guy obviously had some sort of video production experience or interest at least, and that's probably what's put him in the position where he was anyway, and kind of still where he is. I mean, he's still a popular channel. It's just nowhere near as popular as he was back then.
Yeah, but in regards to his teaching, I don't think we've seen anything yet. It's just that presenter mode. But
yeah, and I don't know
skip
if
ahead and see?
Yeah, we can see if there's actually going to be.
just like learning to ride a bike, sometimes you fall off. So, what do? You get back on and try again.
Giving a bit of a motivational speech, okay?
Yeah.
Do not look at English as just another subject. Your attitude to English and the way you view it will decide how well you progress.
Well,
Just as we say in English, no pain, no gain.
well, I don't know if I agree with that. That's kind of the opposite to my learning philosophy.
For some reason, I can't take it serious if with the British accent that no pain, no gain. I don't know why. I presume it's like an American thing, but yeah, it's cheesy. But what did you expect? Yeah.
It's got 12.5 million views. People liked it.
The two most important words to remember when learning English are practice and confidence.
Let me have a think about that. Practice is good. I don't know if I would even say it was in. I don't know if it's in the top 5. Yeah, maybe. I suppose practice is pretty important. Maybe practice is kind of a bad way of framing it, though. It's like practice might be the underlying objective, but maybe you could, find a way to practice that you feel passionate about or that engages you. And as for confidence, well, you spoke about that before, haven't you? Confidence, the best kind of confidence comes from competence.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Yeah, I think for anyone, really. I mean, if the idea of faking it, I mean...
Fake till you make it.
There is something
basically fake till you become competent.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said. I mean, there are situations when that's necessary. If you're teaching your first ever English class, then you have to go in and kind of give a veneer of confidence, don't you? Even though you don't know what the hell you're doing.
That's true.
You can't just go in and start flapping around. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, it's like you say, I mean, it's not the best kind of thing. It's almost like focusing on confidence itself is not necessarily the best approach, in my opinion. No. I think it would be better to focus on other things and just let the confidence come.
Yeah, I mean, confidence is a feeling. It's a feeling of confidence, and
yeah,
the more that you're trying to control your feelings, it's
exactly.
It's not working. What are you
don't control your feelings.
You don't.
Yeah,
it's what arises, and if your English is not good and you don't feel good that your English is shit, then you're not going to feel confident, and you can't base your English on how you feel. You just have to keep practicing and slowly build it up. But that's why I say focus on competence, because then you can kind of gauge it, you can measure it. You're like, okay, now I can say stuff in the present simple, or now I know how to say hello and goodbye, or how to introduce myself. And then you got a little building block, and you just keep putting those together and chain them up. But the practice and confidence, it's waffle. There's a lot of waffle here. I think he's trying to be inspirational, but the problem I always have with this is when people are watching this, I like to presume that people have little to no English. So, if I'm going to be explaining, well, this is what you need to, they might not even understand. So I think it's just better to just kind of like get on with it, and see if you can teach them something that they can leave with at the end of the class, where they think, I know this, I've got this little bit. Yeah. And then, like, yeah, you've got that. You got that. You can say hello. You can say hello. You can introduce yourself, and come back next time. And you keep doing that, you get more.
I think I think he's basically just, like you say, it's just a bit of fluff, and
well-intentioned fluff.
He's just going on a bit of a rant, really. Yeah, it is well intentioned.
Yeah.
And obviously it's helped some people. I saw one comment on there made 3 months ago. The guy said, I watched this video when it first came out. And I've been following this guy all this time, and he talked about it, and he said, like, I could barely speak English at the time, and now I'm the managing director of blah, blah, blah. So there's something to it, isn't it? It's helping someone. So we've got a bit of well-intentioned fluff. We'll just watch about another minute of this video and see if we're actually going to get any teaching, or if it's just going to all be kind of here we go, guys stuff. And then we'll compare that to one of his
an early video of him actually teaching, because it'd be interesting to compare styles.
Yeah, we could do. We've got the video of later on, of kind of the more recent video of him teaching.
I mean, like one of the maybe
to actually see him teaching. Okay, okay, yeah. Let's do that then. I'll just It's got a similar feel, hasn't it?
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
You know, the world of English is a fun and exciting place to be. I'm so glad you could join me for another lesson.
Kramer, get out of the shot.
Hey, you know, another thing when you're in an elevator and then you see someone, they come in.
Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so.
He's got like super quirky now with the way he talks.
Yeah.
Like before he was kind of a bit stiffer, and now he's like, hey everybody, welcome. It's me.
And he had the suit on, and now he's just like he's got the little
No, he's
like
fuck
beach
that
necklace
suit.
or whatever.
Time to
Bali or...
get real, bro.
Are you happy? I hope so. In this
I'm going to stick by what you said before. I actually think this is really well intentioned.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff he's doing just seems really odd as well. You know, like, are you happy? No, please.
this lesson, we will examine 2 English words, which are both short in length and in common use. The words are on and off.
Ah, see, it was a device. It was a transition. Oh yeah.
Do you think there was any drugs involved? I don't want to speculate about someone taking drugs or whatever. But,
I don't know. I mean, I love cheese. And I love the lingering shots. You know, like when he's in the garden, he's just stood there waiting for the transition.
Yeah, just staring at the camera. It's like a parody, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a parody, but it's clearly not intended to be a parody. You know?
I mean, Mr. Duncan, if you're watching this, you know, please come on or leave us a comment.
Oh, come on.
And,
Jesus, come on, please. Please, I'll send the guy an email and beg him to come on.
Let us know, you know, like what was going on with this. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it obviously is fantastic. It got loads of
teaching wise,
fantastic in terms of success. Yeah, in terms of views. But in terms of are we learning anything here? Well, so far we've just got some entertainment, haven't we?
Yeah.
Words.
It's like he's literally just going through the list of like video transitions and going, right, I'm going to do that one next. And they're all like the really cheesy ones that everyone always says don't use, you know.
One of the most fascinating aspects of the English language for me is how some words can have many different usages. For our first example, let's look at the word on. I will see you on Tuesday.
Oh no, he's just done the thing that Rich hates.
In this sentence, the word
I will see you on Tuesday. I will see you.
Yeah, maybe he'll do a more natural.
On is used to show a precise or certain day when something will happen. The party is still on.
Well, that's okay, because that's right.
In this sentence, the word on means something will go ahead and happen as planned. The ball was on target for the goal.
And he did that one right, didn't he? Yeah. The ball was on target rather than the ball was on target.
In this sentence...
I don't like this, and I'm being critical now, very critical, because I used to do this as well, where you'd like highlight the target language, But I think when you're doing it with a weak form in the pronunciation model, it can be very confusing because it does encourage people to look at that and say the ball was on target, because that's what it seems like you're telling them to do, doesn't it?
And that's why you don't have the text up on the screen anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
We talked about in the previous videos, it's better to have the audio only so people can model it correctly and then introduce it, because they're two separate skills.
I think we should jump into the modern one. Should we see what he's doing today and see how it compares? Because I think we've got the idea.
I think we've got a fair idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually startlingly similar to English with Lucy in a way. It's just, whereas, in terms of the script, they're basically saying the same things. It's just what they're doing is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. So, she presents a lovely country house and she says things in her very Lucy way, oh, hello, here I am in the Cotswolds and all that. And Mr. Duncan, he gets his quirkiness on and kind of slinks around and hey guys, we're going to learn some stuff. But essentially they're both doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't want to say for sure just from analyzing two videos, one of each of them. But I wonder if I might prefer Mr. Duncan at the moment, just for the fact that he does have all these like weird props and stuff, which kind of like get you like looking at it and trying to. It'd be really nice if the props were more relevant to what he was actually saying, rather than just a pair of scissors and then talking about on and off. Maybe if he was talking about cut and phrasal verbs with cut or something, then it would make a bit more sense because it would stick in your head, right? And you'd have that association.
Well,
whereas Lucy, I haven't seen do that. Lucy just seems to kind of talk and
I'm on the opposite words side of that, because I think what Mr. Duncan has is he's thrown the kitchen sink into the production value and the format, which is great, but one of the things that I think is important with English is to literally just focus on communication and to be clear and crisp with that. And the stuff with the stuff that we saw with 101 and English with Lucy, that's it. That's the focus.
Right.
There's no distraction around that.
Yeah, that's true. It's just, here's the language. Here's some whiteboard notes. I'll say it, talk about it, next thing.
Yeah. And,
all right.
It's kind of a little bit boring, but I think that's kind of, if you're doing this sort of format, that I think it lends better to that. But that's just my opinion.
Videos. This is a 26-minute video. We're not going to watch all of it. Just watch a little bit. Let's see the difference then.
Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy?
Same.
I hope so. In today's lesson we are going to look at the system that tries and sometimes fails to keep us all on the straight and narrow. That is to say, those who uphold the laws of the land, and in doing so encourages us all to obey them. In this lesson, we are going to look at the subject of law and order.
I think what I find a little bit peculiar about this.
Oh, he's doing a parody of Law and Order as well. Sorry.
Is it?
I think so. Look, it's literally the titles.
Obviously the production's kind of improved a little bit, but it's still, I don't know. He's still got stuff flying all over. He's still using the cheesy transitions as well. It's like he hasn't actually tried to. Maybe that's what he's going for. Maybe he is aware that it's super cheesy. I just find it a bit odd that he doesn't like smile and laugh. He kind of plays it straight, even though he's kind of quirky. He does it in a way like he's talking seriously about everything.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to get a read on him. He's obviously a bit of a character But one of the things that I've noticed here in this video so far, he seems a lot less confident than he used to. No, like when he was in 2008, 14 years ago, he was kind of, I'm Mr. Duncan, and here I am. And when he was doing that one, then I kind of felt like he was just reading from a script, and like he just wanted to get it over with. Yeah, today we're going to do this. It was like the passion and energy's gone. And I mean, I suppose that kind of thing can happen over time, can't it? But I wonder what's going on there.
Oh.
Maybe now he's more into the live streams, and he just occasionally does a video and isn't really that keen on it.
You could just be older as well, and you tend to kind of slow down a bit, I guess.
Yeah, but normally you change as well, don't you? It's like he's doing the same thing he was doing 14 years ago, but he's doing it with like less energy. Like you'd think you'd sort of adapt.
I suppose in that way, it's strange that you're doing the same intro. That one of the things that was initial traction about it was so boom and high energy, and then to kind of have it now without the high energy, it's kind of a bit jarring. But I don't see it as a bad thing. I just see it as kind of like, oh, he's gone from electric to acoustic.
Well, no, but that's kind of what I was expecting. A bit more like that. I was actually expecting him to come on and just be like totally straight. And like, I expected the quirkiness to be gone. Like that was the little gimmick he had 14 years ago. And that's all gone now. And he just comes up and says, hello, everyone, it's me, Mr. Duncan, and we're going to talk about something else. His style, I expected that to happen. Yeah. But that's not, it's like he's still going for that quirkiness, but without the energy. Anyway, let's see if we get any teaching.
When we talk about law and order, we are expressing the rules that exist in society. By that, we mean the laws which must be observed and the rules that govern everyday social interaction. The ability to keep law and order is often seen as the sign...
I think he's actually reading from a script.
Yeah.
It's not the way I would do it.
...of a civilized society. With these laws come stability and order.
I mean, he's not actually looking in the camera. He's even looking down here, probably at his script or whatever, or his prompter. You can set it up on your phone, which is quite interesting because if we look at his videos again from 14 years ago, it actually seemed like he was looking in the camera. Now, he may have still been using a prompter, but I guess maybe he just had it set up a bit better. I just find it a bit weird. You'd think that that's the kind of thing someone would get better at, not worse at. Like over time, because people who are inexperienced at reading scripts on camera, they're the ones who tends to look like they're not looking in the camera. Yeah. And people who are more experienced at it, they can look into camera. And you might mention age again, but Joe Biden, I mean, he's pretty damn good at reading the script, right? He can do it in a way that, I mean, that's why he's the current president, right? So I don't know. I just find it a bit odd. I wonder if I'm totally speculating, but I wonder if he just never really took any feedback about his videos seriously because he was this kind of big boy back in the day.
Yeah.
And now he's just like, well, whatever. I'll just let it tick along and keep doing what I'm doing, And I wonder if that's what happened. And he just kind of got stuck in those ways. It was like the early success. The early massive success actually worked against him in terms of his development as a video content creator. We're getting kind of off the topic of teaching, but that's my opinion on that.
We will often refer to the laws of the land when discussing the important rules that govern our day-to-day lives. To make the laws work, they must be enforced. To enforce is to persuade someone to do something.
What pose is that, man? How can this... It's got to be a parody. I just wonder how aware he is that he's obviously doing something really quite peculiar there. I mean, look at that. Like, that's a really...
What?
It's
Isn't
a really
that how you hang
different
around
pose.
on scaffolding?
Yeah, totally. And I always hang around on scaffolding. I mean, what a strange place to, like, put your camera even. Like, I'm going to get this shot with me on scaffolding, and that's a
Well,
bit
it's
awkwardly
scaffolding because
high
it
on the
kind of
left.
looks like it could be a jail bar. There's bars in jails. I don't
Don't know. I guess he's a rebel. That's what he is.
know.
He's definitely like, I'm definitely getting, what's that word? Um,
Aroused.
when you're expect, well, that definitely, but also my expectations are being subverted, to use an infamous phrase.
Oh.
Because it's like I kind of expect him to just break out laughing any minute and just be like, "Yeah, I'm just taking the piss," but he's not. He just keeps going.
In this case, the persuasion is carried out by giving out punishment to those who go against the laws that have been laid down. If you break one of the laws, then you will be punished. The harshness of the punishment depends on how serious the action is. To go against a law is described as a crime. You break the law. You commit a crime.
Yeah, so we have this thing. This is what they all do, isn't it? He's actually improved it now, where he'll say stuff and then put the words up rather than put the words up first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an improvement. But yeah, this is what everyone does, isn't it? I mean, it's actually pretty much the same format that Lucy has. Her kind of talking on one side. She off centers the camera, so she's way over to the right, and then she has all the words here in the middle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He probably should be doing. Yeah, he probably should be doing that as well.
Yeah.
It's certainly what I'm going to start doing on Prof Rich. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's think about what you do when you're in the classroom, right? You stand to the side of the whiteboard.
That's right.
So they can clearly see the words. The issue that I have mostly with this is that I'm not sure what level this is aimed at. If I were to know the level, it might be easier to kind of comment. But basically, so he's just doing the word. I can just go on what he's done. He's done crime. Now, everything before that, talking about punishment, breaking the laws, there was even some words and phrases that I was like, maybe
Law
they're
of
a
the
bit
land.
more idiomatic. Yeah. Or like all this is, for me, higher level than the word crime.
Crime, which is like a very intermediate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and for me, that's a really basic issue for teachers. Is your preamble, your explanation, your examples around whatever vocabulary or grammar point or function that you're teaching, what have you, is at a higher level than what you're teaching is just plain wrong. You should be a little bit more graded, a little bit more, I don't know, at least matching that.
You mean his natural speech seems to be more difficult to understand than the target language that he's introducing?
I think
or his natural speech, his way of presenting.
I'm not talking about the way he's speaking, but I'm talking about the vocabulary and that everything about it that he's using to explain. It's like using a whole bunch of words to explain what a pencil is to low level.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we use stuff like realia and flashcards and all that sort of stuff, is because we can't explain what a
so I think you're saying he's not grading his language to meet with the target language that he's teaching.
Yeah, I think the words and the language that he's using to explain what a crime is much higher than the vocabulary of crime. And I mean, where were the examples as well? I mean, though, if you're going to talk about crime, you're going to be giving examples of very common types of crime that you might have, in just about any country in the world. You might talk about someone murdering another person. Yeah, maybe murder. is above the word of vocabulary of crime, but you can all kind of group this together within a video, right? But then it gives, if you can start giving them multiple examples, then it's going to easily, show, the two learners that are listening to this and watching this video that, these are all crimes, and you can kind of look at vocabulary around that. But it just seems like it's too high level to what the target language that he's trying to teach.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I've got time for a little bit more. Let's see what we got.
You might be informed of the fine via a letter from a certain authority.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh, no hi.
For more serious offences, evidence must be first gathered. The evidence is used to prove that you carried out the offence. Evidence can be used to prove either innocence or guilt. A person who is being questioned about a crime is often described as the suspect. The word suspect can be used as both a noun and verb. For a serious crime, you will often be questioned under caution.
Did he literally just shuffle?
He like slid off the screen and then disappeared behind the post. So, there's his quirkiness is still there. I just find it so interesting how he always plays it straight. Well, so another thing that I'm noticing here is it seems like this video can't decide whether it's sort of an instructional video about the kind of English legal system.
Yeah.
Because he said some things there, hasn't he, where, for more serious crimes, you need to gather evidence, I mean, going into that kind of thing, that's like, you're then talking about the English legal system, because that's where that's determined, right? What level of crime requires evidence? Whereas, if you just wanted to teach the language point, you just have to teach what evidence means. And you don't need to define that in terms of specifically the English legal system. So it's like it's not really quite sure what it is, this video. And obviously there is quite a bit of research that's gone into it. I mean, he's written this script explaining all this stuff, but maybe not a lot of thought has gone into what exactly the video is and who it's aimed at, unless it's just aimed at the people who watch my stuff. But then you could just be doing anything.
Well, if you look at the title, a lesson about law and order, crime and punishment words, it's very broad. It's so broad.
True.
Very broad, so broad. And I think that's for me, that's what the issue is with this video. It doesn't know what it is. Is it a law and order lesson? Is it crime and punishment words? Yes. But what does that even mean?
Yeah, it's just a whole load of definitions, isn't it? Just kind of like Lucy's, but maybe Lucy's a bit more well thought out. She has phrases that people
concise.
Actually use.
It's clear, it's crisp, it's 25 words that are not "you're welcome," and literally that's what is in the video, and nothing else. No other transitions.
That's right.
No, bells and whistles. This is the word. These are a couple of sentences, and we're on to the next thing. Yes, her language is synthetic, and that's one of the issues with tuba teachers. But I can see why she would be popular now, as opposed to Mr. Duncan.
Right? Yeah. I pretty much agree with that. I think there's similarities, but also it's obvious why he's not popular. And personally, I'm not too massively keen on either of the either of them as a teacher, or at least what they're displaying as teaching on YouTube. And maybe I'm just wrong in thinking that YouTube is a medium where you can be an effective language teacher.
Well,
but
maybe we can talk about that in a sec.
I'm
But
not
if you can get off the screen, because I feel like he's about to strangle me.
Well, I just want to put one specific thing in, because I noticed this at the end here. He does a bit of costume, so I thought we could take a look at this. Yeah, hang on. Let's see.
I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. Unfortunately, it is almost time to bring proceedings to a close. I hope you've enjoyed this English lesson, and I hope you will join me again very soon.
This is the kind of thing that would probably go down.
Plant as Thor.
This is the kind of thing that would probably go quite well if you were working in kind of a Chinese language school in China, and today, you'd manage to stop by one of the local shops and spend $3 on a bunch of props to get a laugh out of the kids at the start of the class, right? But it's kind of weird to do it like in a YouTube video. I mean, he can't have spent more than like $5 on these things, Look at it. It's not like, and what is that? He's like wrapped some foil around the head of a hammer. It's getting a laugh out of me, to be fair, but yeah.
Hey, if this is what he enjoys doing, and
totally,
this is his jam, and that's fine. It's dated. It's fun. There's lots of whistles, lots of bells. I like the quirkiness. I appreciate the cheese, whether it's intentioned or not. And I think it's fine just as long as he keeps doing it. Because he likes it that way. But as a good teaching, or learners getting something from that.
Yeah,
I think what they're getting is maybe some English in an entertainment package.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure how. I don't think it's that effective. I think it's kind of a bit muddled, and that's generally my issue with it.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty reasonable to me. I think that's pretty much exactly what's going on. It's it's entertaining. It's entertainment. And that's what it's supposed to be, I think, and that's why people are watching it, I imagine. And I don't think it would be particularly effective teaching, but entertainment itself can be effective if somebody likes it. So if somebody watches that and they go, ha, 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 Mr. Duncan, English people so funny, then yeah, they're going to learn stuff. And obviously some people do, as I said, I mentioned that guy's comment before.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really match up to modern language teaching, I don't think. And yeah, it gets onto that point that I was making before. Is it possible to be an effective teacher, specifically on YouTube? Because we're not just talking about as a video format, a one-way video format for communicative language teaching, but we're also talking about the YouTube algorithm and what that promotes. So I don't know. I guess this is a question that I'm trying to answer with Professor Rich, right? I'm trying to do something which I think is effective in terms of language teaching and has a good rationale, but also actually succeeds on YouTube. So we will find out. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's difficult because it's an attention industry. So the amount of promotion or that you get from YouTube is based on the amount of attention that you get and retain. Now, that means that there's going to be, you're going to need to have entertainment in there, or engagement, or, the education is on information that you present is going to be of value. And I think one of the issues very much is like English with Lucy is very popular. English 101 is very popular because they put up videos that English learners, I feel, think that they need to know. Like, oh, how a different way to say, don't say you're welcome, or these are the top 25 words that I need to know. Okay, this is an important video. But is that what they need? No, I don't think it is. I think they need a competent teacher that's experienced, that can guide them through, the building blocks, the building of their English from foundation to advanced. And it's a process that's a difficult process. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, doing these sort of videos. There wouldn't be so many of these tuba teachers out there doing these sort of videos, because learners think they know best, and they're ducking and diving between things, trying to grab what they think is going to be the thing that helps them learn. And I think that they don't know how to learn in general, in regards to a language, because it's often the language that we acquire natively is just, we acquire it through play and exploration. And that's the thing with teaching, is nowadays the pedagogy is designed to kind of mimic that process, or take parts of that process, because that's what works. So if you give your confidence to a competent, experienced teacher that's got the background with pedagogy from the TOLEC, or the TOLEC, did I say TOLEC or TILEC? But that have
who has qualifications and experience and has done professional.
Then it's going to, I'm not going to say be an easy process, but I'm going to say it's going to be a process that works eventually. You just have to trust in that, and trust in the teacher. How they can identify if if that teacher's doing well or not. Well, I mean, hopefully these past couple of videos that we've done might give you some information to that. And if you're interested on learning more about that, leave some comments, and we will continue to delve more into this. But I mean, what do you think?
Well, I know that you need to go pretty soon, Neil. So we're going to have to wrap up. I just think a final kind of thought about that, with regards to language and why it works like that. I mean, why do students not really know what they want and need? I think one of the reasons is that language learning is such a slow process. It's not something where you make loads of progress in 1 month, and you can't always necessarily even tell that you're making progress or not, right? So it's quite easy to pull the rug over someone's eyes and kind of keep them booking classes when they're not really making progress. And likewise, they could have a really good teacher who is actually helping them, but they don't feel like they're making progress, and so they go, oh, forget this. So that's just how these kind of skills that take a long time to develop and improve. That's the way it works. And language is one of those skills. It's very long term. So yeah, it's like you say, it is an act of faith on the part of the student, where they say, this guy has the qualifications and experience, so I can trust that, or, oh, I just like this teacher, so I can trust that.
Yeah.
But maybe you can't. I'm not necessarily saying everyone who's got the experience, got the qualifications is a good teacher either, though. I mean, that's another thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I do think we need to wrap up, don't we?
We do indeed. But if you want to hear more about this topic, if you're interested in the videos that we put out, please subscribe, leave a comment, like, very much appreciated. And we do read the comments, and we do steer our videos towards what we think people are looking to to learn from us. And if you're looking to learn more from myself, go to teamteachchina.com, Team Teacher China YouTube, where we've got PowerPoints on the website that are then reproduced into videos of how we teach those. And we've got Team Teacher English, where those PowerPoints are put into self-study videos, generally for kids. And then we've got Team Teacher Baby, where I put my experience of teaching into parenting. And then we have, if you're learning English, this guy.
Yeah, youtube.com/Professor Ulrich, weekly live streams, 2 videos a week. And actually, I did a live stream on Twitch playing some video games the other day.
Ooh.
Yeah, I streamed for 2 hours. Yeah, got 1 subscriber.
Oh.
No one said anything in the chat.
Should have done it 10 years ago.
Should have done it 10 years ago when you could just start up a Twitch channel and you get like 20 odd people just jump in and start watching. Anyway, see you next time, everybody.